You guys, welcome back to King Oles. And yes, Edgar Berlanga has just beaten Paddy McCrory in round 6. Yeah, honestly, like Berlanga ended up getting the win, of course, as expected. I predicted round 5 or 6 for Edgar Berlanga. He got the win in round 6. But again, though, it's kind of a lackluster performance. Like when some people are hyping him up to be, Eddie Hearn is hyping him up to be this big thing, but really, let's be honest, there are some things for him to work on to be up there with the elite guys in that super middleweight division, because Edgar Berlanga currently is not an elite guy in that super middleweight division. He's not. There is stuff to work on. His general defense, I don't think it's good enough to be able to compete at the very top. He does not use his jab to be able to try and close down that distance. Still didn't really do it today. But it's weird because when he does use the jab, it's good. So he needs to use it more in general, because if he does, then he could be a real good improved fighter. There are some big fights out there for him next, so either way. The Munguia fight's out there for him. He does not win that fight, though. He does not beat Munguia. I mean, there's always the Diego Pacheco fight. I don't see that happening next, though, but, that fight could be there on the table. But yeah, overall, that performance from Berlanga, he got the win as expected. Paddy McCrory was put in there as an unbeaten guy for Edgar Berlanga to go in there and knock out, and that's exactly what he did. Showed good power today, though, Berlanga. Fair play. Paddy McCrory showing me a good chin, taking some good shots. Fair play to Paddy McCrory. But yeah, let's be real. Edgar Berlanga was never going to end up losing that fight. Never in a million years was Edgar Berlanga ever going to end up losing that one. Was not going to happen. But yeah, honestly, I scored those first 2 rounds to Paddy McCrory. I mean, I'm saying in my watch song, of course, it's an Edgar Berlanga fight. He's going to start slow. He does always start slow, especially in those first 2 rounds, Edgar Berlanga. So Paddy McCrory was able to just keep him at range for that jab. Berlanga wasn't really throwing anything. He was just feinting out of range quite a lot. In that 3rd round, though, he eventually started to up the pace, putting in a few good combinations. He did catch McCrory off guard with an elbow, though. You never know. Could that have changed things? Possibly, to be fair. Berlanga also caught McCrory with a low blow as well in the 4th or 5th round, I think it was in. So, a few dirty moves put in there from Edgar Berlanga, actually, to be honest with you. But either way, though, he was always going to win that fight. But I'm surprised that he didn't have a point deducted, to be fair. I mean, the thing is with Berlanga is a lot of times in that fight, he was clinching so randomly. When there was no offense or anything going on from either guy, he just forced the clinch and just, it might be, he's trying to rough McCrory up a bit, but it was just there was just no need for it. You're not going to get away with those kind of things against these more elite guys in that super middleweight division. It's just not going to happen. Berlanga doesn't really have any defense whatsoever, to be fair. McCrory has some good success in that fight, to be honest with you. He was firing back while at Berlanga. McCrory was happy to stand and trade a few shots. Fair play to McCrory. Clearly trusted his chin well, but eventually paid for it. But yeah, he was firing back with some good shots. And when Berlanga was coming forward, he was easily getting hit with some big shots. And again, you're not going to get away with that when you're fighting Munguia. You're not going to get away with that even against Diego Pacheco, especially Canelo. So Eddie Hearn does not need to mention, putting Berlanga in there with Canelo on May the 4th, because that is what he was saying earlier on in the week if Canelo was unable to find an opponent. He was saying that he'd stick Edgar Berlanga in there with it. Edgar Berlanga should stay far away from Canelo, and Eddie Hearn should be making the Pacheco fight or the Munguia fight, because, they're good fights to make for Berlanga, and they're easy fights as well. The easy fights to make, Berlanga loses to Munguia, and I don't think it's even competitive. When I said easy, I meant easy to make. He loses to Munguia. Pacheco is an interesting fight for Berlanga. That would be interesting. I do think Pacheco could win that one, but I do feel like Berlanga would be the much stronger guy in that one, though. But again, though, at times, he doesn't utilize his strength as well as he could, though, Berlanga, in my opinion. But yeah, I know I'm being really critical of Berlanga here, but it's everything's true. If he's to compete with those, more elite guys in that division, there are things he needs to do. There are things he needs to be working on, as I've been saying. One thing I do think Berlanga did well, though, is I've seen loads of people all over social media when they're watching Edgar Berlanga fights saying that, oh yeah, he needs to be working on more shots to the body. And we saw some good body work today from Berlanga, in my opinion. We did. I do think he hurt Padraig McCrory with some big body shots today. And that's what he was doing. He was setting them up well, to be fair, as well. Fair play to Berlanga. Some good strong body shots in there. He was feinting well at times, to be fair. But again, though, when he's just coming forward with that offense, yeah, he's a big power puncher. But when he's coming forward with that offense at times, he's easily caught, leaves his chin in the air to be caught, though, Edgar Berlanga. And you're not going to get away with that in the future. He's eventually going to pay the price for it, in my opinion. Berlanga will eventually end up paying the price for the mistakes that he is making in his offense at times. But look, when Berlanga does get into his rhythm though fully and is throwing some big shots though, some big combinations, it is hard to get the better of him. Like, Berlanga wasn't really in trouble with any of the shots that Padraig McCrory was throwing, but I mean, he was caught with a good 1-2 in that first round. But I feel like he is a strong guy and can get his shots through, and he is a hard hitter in that super middleweight division. But again, if you're going to walk into a shot against Canelo, who's got brilliant boxing IQ, you're in trouble. Anyway, going to end this video here. Thanks for watching the video, King. I'll speak to you in a bit. Thanks for watching. Peace.